What's going on, guys? Brad here. In this video, I'll be going over the SVS PB-1000 Pro subwoofer, talking about the tech specs and my general impressions of it and its sound quality, as well as a little comparison talk between it and its bigger brother, the SVS PB-1000 Pro. Now, as the title of the video suggests, this will be an overview video and not a full-on review. I will be doing a full review of the PB-1000 Pro very soon, along with a few other SVS products that I've made overview videos on already, so be on the lookout for those. And full transparency here, SVS did loan this subwoofer to me in order to review it and make videos with it, so a huge thanks to them for sending it out. Also, if you're new to the channel and are into home theater and gaming like I am, consider subscribing and ringing that bell icon so you never miss out on any new uploads. Also, feel free to check out my affiliate links in the description below, which help support the channel at no cost to you when you use them. So I've actually been interested in checking out the PB-1000 Pro since it was announced, mainly because it looks to be a pretty awesome bang for the buck, well, on paper at least. And honestly, I've been looking to replace the third subwoofer in my system, a nearly 20-year-old SVS PB10 ISD, with something that more closely matches the age and product line of my other two SVS PB-2000 Pro subwoofers. So when I asked SVS if they could send me one to test out and review, and they said yes, well, I was honestly pretty floored to have the privilege of playing around with it for a couple months. So the initial impression that struck me right off the bat was the size of the PB-1000 Pro compared to my old PB10 ISD. It does have a smaller overall footprint and is slimmed down, but dare I say that the PB-1000 Pro looks like more of a beast thanks to its 12-inch driver taking up the majority of the space on the front of the cabinet. Now, I'll get to my initial impressions on its sound quality shortly, but let's first run through what kind of hardware this beast is rocking. SVS has chosen to use a double-thick MDF cabinet here, with it measuring 18.9 inches high, 15 inches wide, and 20 inches deep with the grille on. Housed inside the cabinet is SVS's new proprietary 12-inch high excursion driver, which, quoting the product page here, is a complete reimagination of the original 10-inch driver found in the PB-1000. Below that, on the front, you'll find dual 2.5-inch ports, which can be optionally plugged if you want the sub in a sealed configuration. The frequency response in ported mode is an impressive 17 Hz to 260 Hz, with sealed mode offering up a slightly less impressive 19 Hz to 260 Hz response. The included no-frills fabric mesh grille is framed in extra thick ABS plastic and does the job just fine, but I honestly wouldn't mind if SVS offered an option to upgrade to a more premium feeling metal mesh grille. The woofer itself is driven by the 325 watt sledge amplifier with 820 watts of peak power output. On the rear of the sub, you'll find SVS's intelligent control interface for making adjustments, and full support for their subwoofer control app is integrated here as well. Also on the back, you'll find a port for powering SVS's SoundPath wireless audio adapter, along with line level inputs and outputs, a 3-volt to 12-volt trigger input, and speaker level inputs for connecting to systems without a dedicated LFE or subwoofer output. The only finish offered for the PB-1000 Pro is premium black ash. Now, like I said earlier, on paper, this subwoofer seems like a pretty awesome value. So how does it sound? Well, initial impressions were pretty much as expected. Pretty fantastic. I was getting solid output down to 17 Hz in my room, and the sound was tight and full and hit pretty hard when it needed to. Everything I listened to, from movies and music to games, all sounded full and rich without any noticeable boominess really. I even tested adding an EQ to it with the mini DSP, and I was easily able to achieve enough headroom with the sub's amp to apply a house curve to one profile and a more standard flat EQ to another. I've been more than impressed with pretty much every aspect of the PB-1000 Pro so far, though to be fair, I'm still putting it through its paces. But is there a catch here? Well, I'd say if there is one, it's for those that are looking at getting the PB-1000 Pro over its bigger brother, the PB-2000 Pro. Now, I don't want to go into full-on comparison mode here, so I'll try to keep it as brief and quick as possible. First off, in order to get the PB-1000 Pro to output the same level as the PB-2000 Pro, I had to bump up the volume of the PB-1000 Pro quite a bit. It makes sense though, as the PB-2000 Pro has the PB-1000 Pro beat by over 200 watts when we're talking pure RMS. Even matching the volume, the PB-1000 Pro just honestly couldn't keep up with its bigger brother when pressurizing the room, But, you know, this is mostly down to my room being bigger than what a single PB1000 Pro is designed for, in my opinion. Just to clarify though, the PB1000 Pro didn't sound bad, and again, there was no distortion I could detect. It just didn't provide the same level of impact and pressurization as its bigger brother. Now, don't get me wrong, from what I've heard so far, the PB1000 Pro is an excellent value, and it does punch well above its weight in terms of other $600 subwoofers. I mean, look, we're literally talking about entry-level pricing for a subwoofer that kicks some major ass, and I think it's also worth mentioning you can go for two PB1000 Pro subwoofers for $250 more than the price of a single PB2000 Pro if you go duals from the get-go. So that may be something you'd want to consider, and it would provide more headroom and potential room pressurization than a single PB1000 Pro would. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a like and let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any questions about the PB1000 Pro, ask away down there as well. Look for the full reviews of the SVS PB1000 Pro, SVS 3000 Micro, SoundPath tri-band wireless audio adapter, and isolation feet in the coming weeks. That's a lot of work I got ahead of me. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.